The failed artist. From soldier to speaker. Rise to power. World War II begins. The downfall. Adolf Hitler.
April 20th, 1889. A cold spring morning in a small Austrian town called Braunau am Inn. A child was born. Fragile, quiet, and unknown to the world. He dreamed not of power, but of art. He wanted to paint, to create, to be remembered through beauty. But life had other plans. What happens when dreams die and anger takes their place? This is not just a story of war or politics. This is the story of a man who wanted to color the world, but ended up covering it in ashes. That child's name was Adolf Hitler. As a young man, Hitler moved to Vienna with one goal: to become a great painter. But reality hit hard. The Academy of Fine Arts Vienna rejected him, not once, but twice. Imagine, a young boy standing outside that grand building, holding his rejected portfolio. Thousands of dreams shattered in seconds. He sold postcards to survive, slept in homeless shelters, and watched the world ignore him. Some say it was in those lonely streets that bitterness first entered his heart. Could rejection really plant the seed of hatred that later consumed millions? When World War I began, Hitler volunteered as a soldier. He wasn't strong, but he was fiercely loyal. He carried messages through gunfire, survived deadly gas attacks, and was wounded twice. But after Germany's defeat in 1918, his world collapsed again. He blamed politicians, foreigners, and the loss of national pride. Then, something changed. A man who once painted pictures began painting words. Powerful, dangerous words. His speeches hypnotized crowds. "Germany will rise again," he shouted, and people believed him. From anger grew influence, and from influence, ambition. In the 1920s, chaos ruled Germany. Poverty, unemployment, humiliation after the war. People were desperate for hope. Hitler gave them that, or at least the illusion of it. Through fiery speeches, propaganda, and promises, he built a movement, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazis. In 1933, he became Germany's chancellor. Within months, democracy was gone. Books burned, freedom vanished. The world watched a man transform a wounded nation into a weapon. But the question remains, how could millions follow one man so blindly? 1939. Hitler invaded Poland. The world woke up to a nightmare. Cities turned to rubble. Soldiers marched under the swastika as fear spread across Europe. France fell. Britain stood alone. The Holocaust began, one of the darkest chapters in human history. Behind speeches and parades, millions were suffering. Jews, Romani people, the disabled, anyone the regime called different. How does a man justify such cruelty? Was it madness or method? To him, it was destiny. To the world, it was destruction. By 1945, the dream of a 1,000-year Reich lasted barely 12. Allied forces closed in. The empire he built with fear began collapsing around him. Inside a cold, dark bunker in Berlin, Hitler faced the reality he had created. The cities destroyed, the lives lost, the loyalty fading. On April 30th, 1945, 16 years after rising to power, Adolf Hitler took his own life. The man who promised eternal glory ended in silence. When the war ended, the world stood in ruins, but also in reflection. How did an artist become a dictator? How did words turn into weapons? History doesn't just record what happened, it warns us. Hitler's story isn't just about hate or war. It's about the danger of blind faith and what happens when humanity forgets its conscience. So next time you see a child with a dream, remember, the world shapes us, but sometimes we shape the world too. This was the story of Adolf Hitler, the artist who changed the world and destroyed it. If you found this story powerful, make sure to subscribe for more hidden chapters of history. Every story teaches us something, and sometimes the darkest ones teach us the most. And if you'd like to discover another mind who changed the world in a completely different way, click here to watch the story of Nikola Tesla, the man who electrified the future. Thanks for watching.